I gotta blame my man like James Cameron for this, man. Like Terminator must have been a hell
Yeah,
of a movie, bro. Like I seen
yeah,
Terminator, I
yeah,
was like, yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty cool, but I don't know like what time period they seen Terminator or like what the hell happened because this man has literally just I don't know, man. He's like gotten people to think, the Terminator is coming today, like it's gonna be here tomorrow. Like it's so funny to me because like there have been people in my comments talking about the Terminator since ChatGPT launched since in December, right? And now it's June and you're still talking about the Terminator. So just think, right? The person that's been optimistic and like actually been able to see ChatGPT and these other softwares for what it is, they have lapped you so far with the knowledge that they have with these technologies while you're still stuck here complaining about a movie that came out in the 80s. And like you said, like we all understand like the dangers and like what could happen. But what I like to try to tell people is like focus on what's going on in the present moment. What's happening today, right? And at the end of the day, we got to stop reading stuff by the headlines, right? I tell people all the time, like, you need to go look at who your curator is. Who is the person that's curating all of this negative knowledge, right? You
Yeah,
need to start looking at stuff like that because in life, there's always two sides to everything. It's just what are you more attracted towards, you know?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I,
Good
I don't
point.
I don't get it, man. I get comments about this every day. Like somebody commented on one of my posts the other day. I asked them, I was like, so what do you think about the future of AI? And someone was like, I believe AI is demonic and it's the inevitable future of all humanity. And I'm just like, I'm like sometimes like as a content creator, this as well. You should be like, what's going on with you, man? Like what like educate me on why you think this way, But like I said, man, there's two sides to everything, and that's why there's people like you, there's people like me that's trying to educate people on like how to get ahead with these technologies instead of being
Yeah,
scared and like complaining and like oh, like
yeah,
I
yeah,
fear a lot of people are gonna get left behind, with the technology that's here today. Like
yeah.
I
No
feel
doubt.
like we're in a short window, right? Like we're starting to see commercials with ChatGPT. We're starting to see like ChatGPT, I would argue, has gone mainstream at this point. But we live in a society where people are just reading the negative headlines about ChatGPT instead of going to log in and see for yourself what it can actually do. So that's something that I've just been noticing as well. Like we gotta stop being sheep, man. We gotta stop being sheep and we gotta actually see things for what it is. Get your hands on it and then tell me what you think about it, you know?
Very true, man. Get your hands on it and tell me what you really think. That is so powerful. That is so powerful. Because it's a gateway, right? It's like when you got your first computer. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure a lot of people had the same sentiments when computers came around, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that feeling when you actually got your hands on a computer, for a lot of people, it still makes them nervous. But like for the people who are able to appreciate the piece of technology for what it is, like the feeling you get is like, man, anything is possible right now, right? Like how many stories are there, of people having built entire businesses and changed the trajectory of their family and generations to come just by having a laptop, right? Because they were able to
Mm-hmm.
build a business out of a coffee shop, like sitting in a coffee
Mm-hmm.
shop. Right? Um, that's what happens and it's a mindset thing, like you hinted at. Like that's what happens, or sorry, a perspective thing. It's what happens when you shift your perspective to, um, what is possible in a positive way versus what's possible in a negative way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but people will get left behind. It's the unfortunate reality of things. You know, it's like when I worked for my last corporate job was for Apple support,
Mm-hmm.
and the amount of people who would call in and just not know how to use a computer at all, right? Particularly senior folks, right? And I'm like, wow, all the things that you are missing out on, right? And unfortunately, a lot of them would call in and say that they got scammed somehow because they
Yeah.
didn't know, to protect their information or their passwords a certain way, or they write all their passwords in their notes app and then they give like
Mm-hmm.
remote access to someone, right? Or
Yep.
whatever it is. It's the same thing. And it's something like if I was going to fear anything, I wouldn't fear the technology. I would fear being left behind. I would fear being left behind. That if you're going to fear something, don't fear the technology, fear being left behind.
True.
Fear not being in the know of possibility, right? That's that. If you're going to fear something, fear that. Fear not being able to capitalize on your dreams, or fear not being able to execute on your ideas. You know, if you want me to be frank, right? That's what, like, if it's easy to fear the right things. Fear the things that are going to take you to where you want to get, right? Because you don't want to be in your elderly years. We're all going to get there, hopefully, right? You don't want to be in your elderly years and just be totally lost in society. It sucks. We see it all the time. And those people are vulnerable, right?
Yep. All the time, bro. All the time.
How I feel about that. But yeah, it's the reality of the situation. Not everybody can keep up, nor does everybody want to, right?
That's facts, brother. That's just facts. A lot of people are gonna get left behind, and unfortunately, they're gonna be the people that's getting scammed by these, AI voices, and thinking that there's different. Like, they're the ones that's gonna get scammed, like not learning about this technology and stuff like that. So, like you said, bro, it just is what it is. It's for the people that see it for what it is and the use cases, and not for the people that are just like, oh my god, like, because like you said, bro, unfortunately, some people, they have to get left behind.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's insane the amount of people who made money in like the internet boom just by being there, just by being in the know, right? People, like, businesses weren't anything. The businesses that came out of that era weren't anything spectacular when we look at them now, but at the time, it's just they were just there first, right? Or they just happened to have like the proof of concept first, right? Like Mark Cuban, for example, he made his first big batch of money with a sports streaming website. We have a ton of those now, right? But he just happened to stream, I think it was college basketball or college sports. He was one of the first people to build a streaming website. Or Jeff Bezos, selling books, right, at the time, like very, very simple things. And so your business, like the time that we are in right now, the era of easy money with AI, when we say that, it's because, your business or idea doesn't have to be anything complex or spectacular for you to be able to make money off of it. It's just you get rewarded for being in the know, in the mix, right here, right now. Why would you not be here? It doesn't cost you anything.